This episode is brought to you by Espolón Tequila. Slow, sticky, snoozy. They call these the dog days of summer. But Espolón? They don't do boring. Welcome to the Marg Days. Espolón Tequila. 100% blue Weber agave, born to shake up your summer. Just add lime, agave, and a little attitude. Visit espolontequila.com. Espolón Tequila, 40% alcohol, volume 80 proof. Copyright 2025 Campari America, New York, New York. Drink responsibly.
No brakes, no fear. The official British Speedway podcast.
Welcome to a very special episode of No Brakes, No Fear, reacting to everything that's happened in the Premiership Knockout Cup final on Thursday night in Leicester. And the Lions celebrating major top-flight team silverware for the first time in their history after lifting the Premiership KO Cup against the Kings Lynn Stars.
There is the moment. Max Frick gets presented with the 2025 Premiership Knockout Cup trophy and holds it aloft.
Absolutely superb, out of this world. We've been waiting this for a long time. I've been supporting Speedway Long Eaton years ago, and to follow another team, Leicester, and to get this, it's been marvellous. Tonight's atmosphere has been absolutely outstanding.
I mean, we've been following them all season, last season as well. I think to come away with the draw the last time, and now we've gone and sealed it. I think it was it was just outstanding tonight.
Everyone pulled the weight tonight. All the guys rode brilliantly. From start to finish.
Top
Great
to bottom.
performance from everybody.
And I guess now you can look at a double potentially with the league, eh?
Fingers crossed.
There's no reason why we can't. We've proven that tonight. There's no reason why we can't. 60-30 wins ridiculous tonight. I think 100% we can get it.
Yeah, we lovely.
You see the resilience, like Drew Kemp had a really, not his greatest meeting on Monday, but really came back tonight.
He did. Definitely,
And that shows the strength we've got. When the guys at the top probably aren't firing all cylinders, the guys at the bottom can pull it in, and vice versa. And that's what you need from top to bottom. And I think Max is doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, absolutely.
So well done.
I think some of the younger guys are definitely starting to take a lead from the skipper as well, from the captain. It's everyone top to bottom is doing really well.
Well, reaction there from some of the very happy Leicester Lions fans at the Hydroscand Arena on Thursday night. The Lions racing to an emphatic 60-30 win over the Kings Lynn Stars. The teams previously drawing, of course, in the first leg 45 points apiece back in Norfolk on Monday. Ryan Douglas top scored with 14. Sam Masters paid 14, 12 plus 2. And Max Frick 10 plus 1. Guest Tom Brennan 9 plus 2. All dropping just 1 point to an opponent. The hosts enjoyed a largely trouble-free night. That was in stark contrast to the Stars, who kept the gap at 4 points across the first 4 races, with skipper Nikolai Clint getting 11, winning his first 2 rides before a crash in Heat 6. And more about that moment of controversy on the way very soon. So we've got reaction from both sides. We'll start off with a rider who really had the biggest turnaround, and that was Drew Kemp. He was also voted the BSN Viewers Rider of the Night as well, with a great performance, and he's been speaking to Dave Rowe.
Drew Kemp, what a turnaround from Monday. You must have been in despair on Monday night, but you've really hooked back with everything tonight.
Exactly. I was really disappointed after Monday, and I was lucky enough the team did well enough that we got a 45 all draw, and we were pretty comfortable going today. So I know I had to make a few changes during the week. I changed my clutch and changed a few things engine wise, and it seemed to work tonight. And I might have bankrupted myself a little bit, but it makes it worth it when you have a good night and the team wins like we did. So hopefully I can keep it going now. And I tried to keep that consistency up, and last few weeks have dipped a little bit, but we've got it back tonight.
This is such a tough sport, and I know how everyone beats themselves up when they run a last place or whatever, or don't score. But how tough is that mentally to get your head around?
It's very tough. I think people know I've struggled mentally in the past, and I do still struggle mentally a little bit, but I'm getting better at it, and I think that's something I need to learn still and get better at. But as long as we're improving, that's the main thing, and not just my riding, mentally and physically all the time. I think that's what's important. So I just need to stop getting angry and so annoyed with myself, and let little things get to me, and we'll be where we are. So It's going all right.
We know you can get around this track, and tonight some really big rides that have helped the team to win the cup.
Yeah, I think that's something I've been lacking as well in the past. I've been going well in Heat 2 and Heat 14, but those sort of middle rides are where I've been lacking. And tonight I scored in every race, which is something that I don't usually do, and something I need to start doing. And like I said, had a good 5-1 in Sam and Heat 11. So it shows what I can do. I know I can ride a bike. I just need to show it sometimes. So yeah, like I said, I'm happy with tonight. Happy with tonight's score, and I think everyone should be happy. With the team's performance, and we're sort of getting there.
Yeah, Leicester have never won a top flight major silverware. They have done now, and you're one of those 7 guys that have done it. So that must feel good.
It is, and considering I wasn't even meant to be in the team at the start of the year, it makes it even better. So the team's coming into a bit of form now. Everybody's doing their job, which is important. Joe's scoring really well. Max is as great as ever, and even sort of 2 to 5 is doing really good. So hopefully we're not peaking too early. Obviously we're sort of 1 foot in the playoffs, but there's still some important matches to go. So yeah, if we can keep it going and just keep doing what we're doing, then I don't see why we can't be lifting another trophy at the end of the year.
Thanks, Stuart. Well done. Good to see you smiling. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a great night for Drew Kemp. So what about Max Frick? Of course, he's the captain of the Leicester Lions, and he's been with the Watling JCB Lions ever since they moved up to the top flight of British Speedway, the Row Motor All Premiership in 2023. And that first season saw them just miss out on reaching the title playoffs. Last year, they made it all the way to the grand final, but they finished runners-up to Bellevue. So finally, he has his hands on some silverware and held that trophy aloft. He's also been speaking to Dave Rowe.
Lions captain Max Frick. And Max, you've been here 3 years nearly. It must feel like the culmination of effort here, because you've actually got a major trophy. It must feel good.
Yeah, for sure, exactly. Like when I first came here, they were just coming back up into the league, and it's nice to see the team building and growing year after year, and to come away with some silverware after all the hard work. It's really cool to see. So the fans, everyone here, they deserve it so much, and I'm just grateful that I'm being able to be a part of it.
That was a fantastic team performance. Good effort on Monday to get a draw, but tonight everyone scored.
Exactly, everyone's riding really good in the team, and it's great to see they all deserve it so much. So it's great to see the hard work and everyone working so well together behind the scenes to come together with such a great collective result.
And you personally have developed this reputation on this track that even when you don't make it the gate, you work your way through. You seem to have that knack of finding your way through, moving people around. You just must feel really good out there.
Yeah, I feel good. I'm comfortable enough here. Done a few laps here now, and overall feel good. So it's a nice place to come week in, week out, and we have a great atmosphere, and it's just good fun. So really enjoying it.
Can you understand that Kingston are a bit frustrated with the incident you had with Nikolai Klimt when he came off? How did you see that first bend? It's the racing line's narrow, and I just blocked the racing line. He had to go one way or another, and that's the direction he chose. So that's the way I looked at it, but to be honest, I haven't seen a replay. It's racing, and I'm sure not everyone's always going to be happy with every decision. That's a good answer. One more. Obviously, Knockout Cup now in the bag. The team are looking good for the playoffs, so no reason why you can't push on from this, and it could be a really special season. Yeah, I think so. That's the goal. But first of all, we just need to get through the league healthy, and get to those playoffs. But I think if we make the playoffs, I think we have in the playoffs, I think we have a great team. And when everyone's on their day, riding like what they did today, I think, we're definitely one of the strongest teams out there. Thanks, Max. Well done. Good luck for the weekend. Thank you. Thank you.
So we'll stick with the Leicester reaction. There's lots to come, including Sam Masters, Ryan Douglas, Kyle Howarth, all on the way, and a special appearance from Shane Parker as well to throw in there for good measure. He's on the way shortly. Plus, we'll get reaction from the Kings Lynn side of things as well a little bit later on. There's more reaction to come, so it's not just Leicester. Kings Lynn on the way. Right now, though, a man that you can imagine will be very happy right now off the back of that. Stuart Dixon, team manager of the Leicester Lions. He's done it again. He's brought more silverware to another club, and he's been speaking to Dave Rowe. Stuart Dixon, you've said many times you came here to win trophies. Leicester have never won a top-flight major team trophy before. They have now. That was a fantastic all-round display.
I did say that when I first came, and we managed to do double in the first year, 2019. It's been a while since the next trophy's come along. Thankfully it came along tonight. I think full credit goes to my riders, for Monday night and tonight. We've done the hard work, the hard yards on Monday night. It was nip and tuck for the first 4 or 5 races tonight. We come into our own. I think the Nikolai Klimt exclusion for them kind of rocked them a little bit. we found some momentum and we pushed on. And when you see us in the second half of the meeting in full flight, you know Masters, Douglas, Frick, all looking for each other. You know, everybody, every one of them, Kyle Howarth, Drew Kemp, winning racing. It's just great to see. Really pleased for Joe Thompson as well. He's been here since he was a kid, been here before me. Very pleased that he was part of something special for us, and to celebrate in front of the supporters, you know, was a special moment, because when we won the league at Glasgow 2019, we're away from home, you know, so to do it in front of our own supporters, and how many was there tonight, it was fantastic. This is why I'm in the sport. You can hear it in my voice. I'm excited, and as I say, I'm proud to be the team manager of this club. Yeah.
The one who turned things around massively for Monday night was Drew Kemp, who had an absolute nightmare on Monday, and you had some words after that meeting, but I believe he practised on Wednesday night, and today looked a totally different rider.
Yeah, we had him in yesterday. He was doing some practice. I think he put a new clutch together, sort of thing. Mick Shepherd was here, his mechanic. Dan Jilks was with him as well yesterday. We got him going. I got him in, you know, sort of thing. And you know, I know I was maybe tough with my words on him on Monday night, but you know, there's a softer side of me as well. You know, I had a wee chat with him the next day, just saying to him, you know, what he means to the club. When he scores points like that, we're a difficult team to beat here. I think that proves it, because we've got such a good, strong top five. Special mention to my guest as well, Tom Brennan. You know, in Indiana Jones films, they say that you can choose wisely. I believe I choose wisely in my choice of guest.
It didn't always go Kings Lynn's way. Obviously, you alluded to the crash for Nikolai Klein, which they're very upset about the decision. In the end, they had more crashes too. But I think in the end, no one would doubt that you were the better team overall.
No, I remember selling Rob Lyon before Heat 15 with the wee handshake and that, and he was getting interviewed, and that's what he did say. There's no qualms about Leicester with a better team over the two legs. We certainly were, and we're not rubbing it in. We were good. We wanted to win it. There was a desire about us. Sometimes it falls for you, sometimes it's your night. Unfortunately, it wasn't for them this turn, but I'm sure they'll come back again, yeah. Can
you build on this for the round of the season now? You've got to go back to Kings Lynn on Monday. You're well placed in the race for the playoffs, so can you make it an even better season now?
Possibly. You know, I don't know the answer to your question, but we would like to. We'd certainly like to. I hark back to 2019, we won the Cup, and then we won the league a few months later. It would be nice to do the same thing again. It's going to be tough. We know that some good teams, but you know, there's no reason why we can't. If we hit form at the right time, and most managers will say that about their own team, but if we hit form at the right time, Leicester will be difficult to beat over two legs, yeah.
Thank you, Stuart. Many congratulations. Well done. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
You've got to bear in mind that many of the Leicester riders were very much smelling of champagne after the corks had popped and the celebrations had begun. None less so than Stuart Dixon. The team poured their bottles of champagne down the back of his neck there. I'm sure he was really thankful for that. Now, let's move on to Sam Masters, who had a solid performance away from home. 8 points on Monday night, 12 plus 2 in the second leg. And again, he's on the top step of the KO Cup for the first time in his career, and he's been speaking with Ryan Guest.
Sam Masters, job done for the Leicester Lions, 2025 Premiership Knockout Cup champions. How does that feel?
Feels really good, because everything I went in last year, I think it was about 5 things, I got second place, so I was due a trophy personally, but for the club it's really good. You know, we got second last year in the league, and it means a lot to the club, you can see that, so and they deserve it. I mean, it was a tough challenge, you know, against Kings Lynn. I know the scores may not show, but it ain't tough going to Kings Lynn at the best of times, especially in a two-legged thing, and to come out on top is unreal.
Naturally, you treated it with a bit of caution, because yes, you did well to go and get the draw on Monday night. It did take a bit of pressure off, but you can never take anything for granted, and you could certainly tell that in the build-up, but the way the team finished tonight as well just romped to victory in the end.
Yeah, that's right. It's what we did to them at their place. You know, a draw it wouldn't surprise you if they came here and turned us over, because that's the team they've built. They've got a strong team all throughout. You know, awesome reserve, awesome number one. You know, like we had to be on our toes from the get go. So we did that. We were all making good starts, and you know, we hit them hard pretty early on, and we got over the line quite early.
And like you say, it's great for the club as well, the first ever trophy in top flight of British Speedway as well for Leicester, and just a great night all round. You could see what it meant to the supporters gathering over on the home straight down there.
Yeah, it wasn't until after like my second or third heat that I was thinking, oh, they're pretty pumped here, so that it sort of started to pump us up, and we're all sitting pretty comfortable. Like I said, we're making good starts, so when you're doing that, life is easy. Shane Parker wouldn't understand what it's like to make starts like that, but yeah, anyway, we got the job done, and we're stoked to have a trophy this early on in the season.
And now going forward as well, obviously August is another busy month, and it's all about carrying this momentum, carrying that confidence into the playoffs now as well.
Yeah, that's right. We're on a bit of a roll at the minute, so hopefully we can carry that all the way to the playoffs. And we've got still a lot of tough meetings ahead, but I think we're pretty secure in the playoffs, and everyone's riding really well. So if we can keep this going, then we're going to look pretty at the end of the season.
And just on a separate note, if I can, Wednesday night, Poole versus Oxford. Obviously, it's always keenly contested. Seems to be plenty of people talking about that one. From your point of view, you were involved in that Heat 15. There seemed to be a lot going on at Wimborne Road on Wednesday night.
Yeah, it wasn't good that I was on the raw end of the stick there with the tapes playing up and things like that. And 2 races I was in front and the race got stopped. So it ain't good. It's hard to always, you make a start and the race gets restarted. It's always hard to do it again, but we didn't. So I think it was a little bit tough on Oxford in the end, but we still put up a good fight and got some good points. But I think we were good enough to win.
People will have seen Peter Schock's comments on the Oxford website and social media channels as well. It's rare he fully lets his emotions out, and you could tell how much it hurt. And I think it was more the consistency of the decisions or the way things were handled that frustrated him more than anything.
Yeah, I haven't seen the comments, so I don't really know what exactly you're talking about, but I do know exactly what you're talking about. It does upset him, yeah. And I know when you lose, you can cop it on the chin, but when you lose unfairly, sometimes it hurts more. So I get where he's coming from, but at the end of the day, I've been on both sides of it, and you got to take it as it comes.
But from Oxford's point of view, to still go and push Poole as close as you did, plenty of positives can be taken from that going into the final months of the season.
Yeah, we only lost by 6 points or whatever, and I didn't really even have a great night myself. So shows what sort of team we have. We've got a good team of fighters, and we're looking forward to the end of the season, get to the playoffs, and then start again.
Yeah, Sam Masters there talking about Leicester, but also covering off Oxford Cheetahs as well in their clash. A controversial one, you might say. Certainly the ending was at Wimborne Road over the Poole Pirates. Someone else that's milling about at this moment was Shane Parker, a Speedway legend if ever there was one. He's over from Australia for a few weeks, and he was taking in the action at the Hydroscand Arena on Wednesday night. Of course, he's a Kings Lynn legend as well, and I grabbed a chat with Shane Parker because in no small way, he and Sam Masters are very much linked, and he'll explain the story, but Sam Masters actually did say, and it says it in the background, you don't really hear it, that were it not for Shane Parker, he wouldn't be here in British Speedway probably right now. So here is the legend that is Shane Parker.
No, I had a really good night, enjoyed it, some great racing. Leicester obviously came out on top. They had the upper hand to start with the draw from the last league. I actually enjoyed watching Sam Masters ride. I remember his first year over here.
Tell us a tale about Sam Masters. Go on.
We were doing a track walk in 19. We were doing a track walk at Somerset, and it was my second to last year over here racing, which was 2010, and it was Sam's first year, and I kind of took him under my wing, and we're doing a track walk, and I said to the guys, my first year racing in the UK was in 1990, and Sam said I wasn't even born then. So,
look how he's grown up to be now.
100%. I mean, to come here tonight and watch him ride and see how he's progressed, it's good. We've got a lot of good riders in Australia and a great breeding ground, and for them to come over here and accomplish what they have, it's good. So. And since then, there's so many young British riders coming up. I'm impressed with what Scotty and Paul Hurry are doing with the training schools and stuff, and that probably should have happened over here 10, 15, 20 years ago. So,
yeah, and I guess obviously you on the other side of the world, you see British Speedway in a different light, I suppose, and when you come over, you see the development of how things are changing in terms of like the professionalism of the top league and things like that as well.
Yes, professionalism has come into it hugely. TV, it speaks for itself. So I think the riders have gotten a lot more professional now with their training and the way they approach the sport, and it's a sign of the times, I think. I think every sport's gone that way, and I think it's great for Speedway, and hope it carries on in that way.
It's great on one hand, but people also say that maybe we've got less characters. And you were a character, but maybe we've got fewer of those these days.
Yeah, I think that comes with professionalism. You lose your characters when it comes to things like that, and you've got to toe the line, and you can't do things you shouldn't do. And
You can't set off fire extinguishers.
You can't put sardines in trophies, and you can't do a lot of things. You know, it's. I fully understand it, but I think you still need characters. You know, like one of the best characters is Nicky Pedersen. You either love him or you hate him, and you need people like that.
And you're over here now for a little while, so people might see you knocking around at a few tracks. You're going to take some speedway in?
Yeah, 100%. A few more weeks here, so we're going to try and get to as many meetings as possible and enjoy British Speedway again.
Well, great to see you, Shane. Welcome back over here, and enjoy your time.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Cheers, mate.
Always good to catch up with Shane Parker. Keep your eyes peeled for him at a track near you, possibly over the coming few weeks. Next up then, a rider who's effectively retained the title for himself at least, and that's Kyle Howarth. He was part of the Sheffield Tigers lineup that won the Premiership Knockout Cup last year, and he's done it again with Leicester. And I caught up with him after the meeting.
It's nice being back at Leicester and really enjoyed it, and the team's really caught some really good form this year because, you know, at the start of the season, a lot of people wrote us off, saying we're weak and, you know, we'll finish bottom, not make the playoffs. And you look at us, we've just made the KO Cup final, and we've the final, and we've won it, and we've won it with ease. Well, you look at that result, and you look at the league, how we're doing. We're in the playoffs, and we're in a good position. The team seems to be firing in a really good part of the season, coming towards the business end of the season too. So, yeah, all good. And another KO Cup title, obviously winning it last year with Sheffield and now with Leicester, so yeah, it's nice.
For you personally, following up the win from last year, a nice achievement to retain the cup?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, the attitude, we haven't made the playoffs till we know we're 100% fully in there, but obviously we're in a good position, but there's a lot to fight for at the moment. There's some tough. We've got some tough away meetings, and we've got some tough home meetings coming up. So we need to be focused, keep our head in the game, and like I said, when we've made the playoffs, that's when then we can focus on what's next.
We saw on BSN the team spirit, particularly rallying round Drew Kemp. Had a tough night on Monday, but we saw it was all hands to the pump, trying to get the most out of his bike tonight, which was going obviously a lot better, and he really came to the party and was part of the 5-1 that really put you on that sort of verge of winning the cup.
Yeah, you win with a team of 7 and you lose with a team of 7, and we won with 7 and we all performed, and it was a team effort. This time of the year is a really big team effort, and obviously Drew was struggling and come for a practice yesterday, got dialed in and made a few changes, and look what it did tonight.
Yeah, and popping the champagne here at the top level of Speedway has never been done. Raising that first silverware in the club's history at the top flight, a real special moment in the history of the club.
Yeah, it's nice, and Leicester haven't obviously in 50 years apparently, so no, it's nice, and it's great for the club, great for the fans, great for the sponsors, and obviously the promotion, so it's a nice lift for them, and obviously they've won something, and it's always nice to have that.
And you had that guest as well, Tom Brennan, who sort of really seems to have fitted into the team. He was the first to get the cork out of the champagne, which shows some skills there, but he's really been a big part of this team for this 2 fixtures.
Yeah, Stuart worked his tactics really well, and it paid off, didn't it?
That's Kyle Howarth then, and last but by no means least, the rider who was top scorer for the Leicester Lions in that second leg on Thursday night, and also a solid performance in the first leg on Monday as well, Ryan Douglas.
100%, yeah, it's awesome to win a trophy here. I was here in 2019, and to come back in the Premiership now and get another trophy is unreal feeling. It was a great crowd, and we've put on some good performances here lately, so it was nice to do it in a final like this.
Yeah, and obviously you'll forever be the first team at the top level to win a trophy as well, so a real special night for the fans too. We've waited 50 years for that.
Yeah, I only just heard that on the track, 50 years, so unreal. I think we've been building last year. We got close in the league, and things are going well this year. We've hit the form at the right time of the season, and when we got that draw at Lynn, I was pretty confident we could kind of get the job done, but Speedway is a funny sport, so we did the job and put them to the sword a bit, so everyone's got the confidence up, and looking forward now to the league.
You never know how a meeting's going to go, as you say. The odds were that it was in Leicester's favour, but when Kings Lynn come here with 2 legends, of course, with Chris Harris and Scott Nichols. Obviously it wasn't the best night for Scotty in the end, but Bomber was certainly showing what he can do.
Yeah, I was looking at him just before parade, and it looks like a bit of Dad's Army was happening there, so you never know. But of course it's a strong team, and with Nikolai at reserve, it's a bit of a trump card, but we're a solid outfit, I think, and everyone done their job, so we're too strong in the end.
And next, you've got Kings Lynn again in the league this time, of course, but obviously now sights set on securing the playoffs. Big fixture, obviously, over Kings Lynn with that in mind, and then to see if you can get more silverware on the board in 2025.
Yeah, that's it. It's back to Lynn again. You know, I don't think anyone likes going there too often, but it's good. It's been nice lately, and we obviously had a good result there. So a bit of practice, and hopefully we can get there with a similar form and maybe pip the win.
Well, tonight, Dougie, I'll let you go celebrate.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you, cheers.
There's Ryan Douglas then of the Leicester Lions, top scorer on Thursday night, and they've all won silverware now, and they look to kick on in the Rowe Motor Oil Premiership and fully secure their place in the playoffs, and it is a big fixture next for the Leicester Lions and indeed for the Kings Lynn Stars. The two meet again, this time in league action, and that is on Monday night back at the Adrian Flux Arena, and that one is certainly going to be pivotal in terms of shaping how things may look for the playoffs, and Leicester will be obviously looking to put some more distance between themselves and the Kings Lynn Stars. So next we'll turn our attention to the Kings Lynn Stars, and we'll hear from Rob Lyon. We'll also hear from Richard Lawson and Nikolai Clint in the next part of No Breaks, No Fear.
No Breaks, No Fear. The official British Speedway podcast.
Welcome back, I'm Ian Brannan. We're rounding up everything from the Premiership Knockout Cup final, which has been the main fixture this last week in the Rowe Motor Oil Premiership. It takes two to make a contest. The Leicester Lions may well have been celebrating. The Kings Lynn Stars kept it level in the first leg, but certainly the second half of the second leg well and truly got away from them. It ended 60 points to 30 in favour of the Leicester Lions. Let's get some Kings Lynn reaction right now. Then to come, we'll hear from Richard Lawson and Nikolai Clint. But first of all, here's team manager Rob Lyon with Dave Rowe.
Well, I think you've had all your riders pretty much on the deck tonight. Tough night. Obviously, I think Leicester deserve winners, but how do you reflect overall?
Yeah, tough night. Two really debatable decisions. Well, they weren't debatable, they were clear cut, but what Christina was looking at, I have no idea. Don't think it would have made a huge difference in the whole scoreline, to be honest, but obviously it just takes the wind out of the sails when you're sort of thinking we can keep it tight here and then move on to the next heat, etc, etc. So disappointed with those decisions. But overall, Leicester were the better team over the two legs. And as you say, I think half the team were on the floor tonight. Jankovic's his ribs, obviously Bommel was on the deck, Niels is all out of sorts, and yeah, so it was a bit of a walking wounded at times, to be honest. But taking nothing away from Leicester, they rode well, so they deserve it.
Obviously the big moment was Heat 6 because Nikolai, who you needed to come here and score big points, and won his first two rides, looked very impressive indeed, and then he comes off on the second bend, and I think everyone would agree that there was no contact, but that isn't always the case. That isn't always the decision that you make, is it?
Like Chris said, there's no contact. I said, doesn't need to be contact. He had nowhere to go. Max Frick came from gate one straight across the corner. You know exactly where he was going. It's pretty clear, to be honest with you, looking at it, and I think Stuart was surprised by the decision as well, but hey, that's the way it goes. Referees have a decision to make. He made that call. That was his call to make, and I can't change that. So and the Heat 12 one was strange, but there you go. That's Speedway.
You mentioned Niels is struggling. Jan has had a very heavy off as well. How does that look in with meetings to come in mind, Monday especially?
Don't know yet, to be honest. Too early to say. We'll have to re-evaluate everything probably tomorrow and go from there, I guess.
It was an achievement to make the final. Nothing should take away from the achievement you had in winning or drawing in Ipswich to win overall. That was a huge highlight. So, okay, you haven't won the cup, but you still take something from this cup run that's taking Kings Lynn forward.
Yeah, I just said to the guys they need to be proud of what they've achieved in terms of getting here. I know we haven't performed that well tonight for various reasons, but to get to a cup final is an achievement in itself, and they'll have actually ridden probably as many meetings as any other club apart from Leicester this year with the cup run we've had, because we've had 6 meetings in the cup. So when you look at it like that, they've had a reasonable run at it, but it's disappointing to lose. Sometimes it's worse when you lose like that in the final, but we couldn't do anything about it in terms of result. Leicester were a far better team on the night.
Thanks, Rob. Congratulations. Thank you.
Cheers.
Okay, so there's Rob Lyon with Dave Rowe, and things took a bit of a twist actually around heat number 5, and that's where things went slightly awry. Firstly, Niels Christian Iversen crashed on the third bend of heat 5, and the Lions being awarded a 4-2. And then in heat number 6, Nikolai Klint was left with no room really on turn 2 in heat 6. A forceful move by Max Frick. Klint hit the fence hard, and whilst he was thankfully uninjured, the Stars were understandably upset when referee Chris Dono ruled that Klint was the cause of the incident and was disqualified. A lot of focus on that particular incident. Let's get the thoughts of the rider himself involved, Nikolai Klint, also speaking to Dave Rowe.
Nikolai Klint, obviously a really tough night, so we'll come on to a big incident shortly, but overall it was tough.
Yeah, very tough. We had our hopes up and we believed we could do it. But as you could see tonight, Leicester is a very good team, especially around this track, and we can't take that away from them. At the end of the day, they deserve winners, and well done to them.
You were going to be a key man in this final, especially reserve. You won your first 2 rides, then heat 6 you were off the bike on the second bend. Just talk us through that.
Yeah, like how I saw it from my point of view, and also what I saw on the replay. Was that I came from gate 4 and made the start with Max, and I was sure he was going to stay mid-track, and it looked like he had a sneaky look over here, like to the right, and then all of a sudden he went straight, and I didn't have anywhere to go. Just managed to get around him, and then obviously the fence comes really, really quick here when you're that wide. The referee didn't see the same way and said there was no contact, but I think it's absolutely BS. On that one, because when a rider comes from gate 1 all the way more or less up to the airbag and goes straight in the middle of the corner, then he's not riding his own racing line. He's changing racing line and causing the stoppage of the heat. So yeah, very frustrated about that. But obviously, had that gone the other way, or even all 4 riders, it wouldn't have changed the result, but it was definitely very frustrating.
Yeah, you had that incident, you had Niels having a crash and he's got problems as well. Richard has some mechanical issues, Bomber's crashed late on. It just felt like everything came. And yep.
Yeah, and I think it's sort of tonight, if you can say sums up our season, unlucky. I don't think it would have changed the overall result. Like I said, they deserved winners, but it's a tough pill to swallow. But then again, on the other hand, I don't think many people would have expected us to be in Knockout Cup final, and we gave it our all. We didn't give up, and we can be proud of how far we came in this competition.
So the target now must be to try and finish the season as strong as you can. You've got Leicester again at home on Monday night, and hopefully finish off well.
Yeah, like if we can keep, let's say our goal is to keep our home record for the remaining matches we have at home. That would be nice. So not just for ourselves, but also for the club and the fans. And it was nice to see so many people here believing in us. And hopefully, even though we're coming home from a loss, there will be people to support us on Monday.
Nikolai, thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
So a disappointing night for the Kings Lynn Stars. Nikolai Klint top scoring using his full 7 rides, but in 3 of those 7 he failed to score for one reason or another, so his rides where he did score were pretty significant. Chris Harris finished with 7 points. Third top scorer with paid 7 was Richard Lawson, who's also been chatting to Dave.
Rich, obviously really disappointing. It was level going into the second leg, and tonight Leicester were too strong.
Yeah, you said it there. Beaten by the better team, fair play. They rode really well at Kings Lynn Monday and rode even better tonight, and we didn't really have an answer for them at all. So it's frustrating. I think the Kings Lynn can be proud of getting to the final. That was an improvement on previous season, so we've got that.
You didn't have the best of luck. Obviously Niels has got an injury anyway. He had a crash. You had the exclusion of Nikolai as well, and all that time the margin was building.
Yeah, it was. It just didn't go our way at all. I had a problem with my engine, and then it let go in over the finish line in E8. But I felt like there was something not right in the previous ones, and then I had to jump on an engine I hadn't ridden before. It was a bit of a nightmare personally, and that kind of spread throughout the camp. That was it.
As you say, it's an achievement to get to the final for Kings Lynn. Now I guess the thing is finish the season strongly. You've got 6-7 league matches to go and hopefully finish well.
Yeah, that's it. Whatever's left, we just go and try and win them and do everyone proud.
Thanks, Richard. Thank you, well done. Cheers.
Yeah, there is Richard Lawson, and as we mentioned before, the two sides will do battle again, this time in the league, and that is as soon as Monday night. In a very big week for both sides in the Rowe Motor All Premiership. We'll look at the full fixture picture for everything coming up in British Speedway over the next week before the end of the podcast. In the final part, before this contest, I had a quick chat with Jen Crossland, one of the promoters at Leicester Lions Speedway, just to get her thoughts and a bit of insight into the preparation, what goes into running the club and preparing for such a big fixture ahead of that particular meeting. And we'll hear from Jen next on No Brakes, No Fear.
No Brakes, No Fear. The official British Speedway podcast.
Welcome back, I'm Ian Brannan. In this final part then we'll shortly round up everything that's going to be coming up in British Speedway over the next week. But just an extra chat I had with Jen Crossland, who's one of the co-promoters of Leicester Lions Speedway, just to get a bit of insight into the behind-the-scenes sort of aspect of running a Speedway club and preparing for such a big meeting as a major cup final at the top level of British Speedway. And, of course, eventually they went on and won it. Now, here is my chat. This is before the meeting began, so that's why we don't know what the score is at this particular moment. But here's Jen Crossland.
Yeah, there's lots going in background. You know, obviously we've got club sponsors that we've been working with all year. We've invited those along tonight, and then we've been working with potential sponsors for next season. They're also invited tonight. Working with local news, they're going to be going live tonight at 10 to 7, talking to Max Frick and Sam Masters. And just in general, just getting public, you know, behind what I call it's one of these meetings where there are Speedway supporters out there, and we need to get them here every single week. But if we can get them here tonight and show them what a great meeting, what a great atmosphere, then that stands us in good stead on it leading into playoffs.
And obviously a promoter's job is never done. It's not easy, is it? You know, with first you have got restricted funds and resources the sport has as a whole. I think people have got to be realistic about that. But I think certainly when you come into Beaumont Park, you see the banners up there, you've got the QR codes that people can scan and all this kind of stuff to try and get people engaging with the club.
That was a lot of hard work at winter. We spoke about how could we do it, people walking down that footpath, and like you say, mobile phones are the things now, so your QR codes takes you straight to the website, Facebook page. Social media is massive, as we know. We've done lots of competitions here throughout the season. Tag yourself in, you know, at Leicester Speedway, show yourself here, and it just generates that interest, because it's all right going on your own Facebook page, but you're promoting to the converted already. You know, you kind of need to go out to the ones that haven't been for a while or have never been, what Speedway, that type of thing. And I often push it on a Sunday as well when we've got National Development League or National Development Trophy, because that is the future of British Speedway, and it's a cheaper night. Come, bring your neighbours, bring your friends, just to have a look, see what it's like and get that buzz, and obviously that then obviously develops onto coming on a Thursday to see Lions themselves.
And you do have a lot of Speedways. You say you've got two National League teams in action in the Trophy and in the Development League itself. So very busy venue and with practice sessions. I know you've had Great Britain practice sessions here recently as well, haven't you? And private practice. I know Nick Morris was here the other day. So it is a busy facility, so you're getting most out of it there. But then, of course, you know, the top line act is the Lions and getting people to turn up when you're racing.
And I think those days as well wouldn't be possible if we went for volunteers that are coming out to tidy up afterwards, and even things like down to emptying bins, weeding. There's so much to do because this is our stadium. So whereas we don't lease the stadium, we have to look after the maintenance to it as well. So they're here constantly, you know, helping us with that as well. But yeah, like you said, Nick Morris was here yesterday having a skid. We've had GB Rory Slime run a day a few weeks ago here as well. We do have private hires, like you say. We've got a big flat track meeting coming up in August, which is the end of a series, which is something that ACU have started this year. So we're giving that a go. But yeah, it's relentless. It's constantly.
The Knockout Cup is obviously a great thing to be involved in, and fantastic you made it to the final. But the real focus is, of course, on the league, and you're looking good in the playoffs, and you know, some critical meetings coming up that are going to help decide that, particularly when you race Kings Lynn very soon. That's really pivotal in the calendar.
That's Monday.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, well, exactly. It's coming soon. Yeah.
I think last Thursday at Sheffield, I think that was the sealing point. That sealed it for us, that we were in that top four. It's just whereabouts in that top four we finished now, and I don't mind, if I'm being really honest. It would be nice to climb further, but we know we've got us limits where we can go to. But yeah, absolutely, I think last Thursday sealed it for us, and we're all on September.
And Kings Lynn as well, fair play to them, they've come up with a legend of a guest in Scott Nichols, which see Scott Nichols and Chris Harris in the same team. That's good for you as a promoter though, isn't it? The away team have put a competitive side out, and a side that, you know, Leicester fans are going to be equally keen to see Scott Nichols back here.
Our social media were buzzing because I think it's just put another 100 if not 200 on gate because Scott Nichols is back round this track. So yeah, great, you know, and it's great to have Scotty back as well after that nasty injury that he suffered last year as well. And like you say, him and Bomber are just two legends, aren't they? They absolutely are. But they've got Yankovic, you know, coming through ranks, GP rider, Luke Harrison at reserve. You know, they have got a cracking side, and Rob does it every year, manages to put a solid 1 to 7 everywhere he goes. So yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight. It'll be good.
Yeah, and we agreed that we were going to catch up with Jen Crossland after the meeting, but that never happened. As you can well imagine, she was very, very busy indeed, celebrating very hard, I'm sure. But congratulations to all at Leicester on winning that first major top flight silverware. Before we go then, let's have a look at everything coming up in British Speedway over the next few days or so. We will have another episode midweek next week, but we're into August, and let's start with Saturday, 2nd of August. There's action down at the Coliseum. The Plymouth Gladiators taking on the Workington Comets at 7 o'clock. That fixture also being shown live on BSN as well, especially if you're a Workington fan and you can't make it down there, then you can see it there on BSN. We've also got action over at Shieldfield as well, with the Berwick Bandits taking on the Oxford Cheetahs and the Glasgow Tigers. Yes, riding on a Saturday. Glasgow Tigers versus Scunthorpe Scorpions, and all of these fixtures begin at 7 p.m. So Glasgow riding on a Saturday against Scunthorpe. Sunday, we've got action in the National Development Trophy. Back to Leicester, in fact. Leicester Fox Cubs versus the Plymouth Centurions. And then on Monday, a full programme of Rowe Motor Oil Premiership action. All of these are round 2 fixtures. Kings Lynn Stars versus the Leicester Lions, the Birmingham Brummies versus the Sheffield Tigers, and the Bellevue Aces versus the Ipswich Witches. A fixture that needs little introduction, and it's also going to be live on TNT Sports and Discovery Plus as well, that one on Monday night. Then you've got a day off on Tuesday. You have to make your own entertainment, but maybe we'll stick a podcast out, or I'll certainly be making one then. And then Wednesday, we've got some action down at Wimborne Road. The Poole Pirates versus the Plymouth Gladiators. This is a championship fixture, a bit of a South Coast derby. If 100 miles is a derby, but nonetheless, that's taking place on Wednesday. And the other fixture is Oxford Cheetahs versus Redcar Bears, and that is a very tasty one when it comes to the playoffs, because Redcar actually overtook Oxford to get into the playoff places, even though Redcar hadn't even ridden at the time. It was all because of the points difference after Oxford had ridden their meeting. So the two of them are very, very close together at this moment in time. And then we've got action on Thursday in the Rowe Motor Oil Premiership, the Ipswich Witches versus the Oxford Spires. And the last 2 fixtures I've just told you about are all going to be on BSN as well. So Wednesday night, Oxford versus Redcar. Thursday night, Ipswich versus Oxford Spires, both on BSN. And there's more action coming up on Friday because we've got Redcar Bears versus Berwick Bandits, Glasgow Tigers versus the Workington Comets, and the Edinburgh Monarchs versus the Scunthorpe Scorpions. And that match will also be on BSN as well in the Cab Direct Championship. So that's what's coming up over the next week or so. It's certainly getting busy at this time of year. School holidays are on. Hopefully you can get down to your local track and support your local team, or indeed just cheer on for the opposition, whichever you want to do. Go down, get yourself some speedway in the summertime, while hopefully the weather is looking reasonably good. We'll be back with you next week for another episode of No Breaks, No Fear. Take care. Have a great weekend.
No Breaks, No Fear. The official British Speedway podcast.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.